Hello. So sorry, I have my earbuds falling out of my ear. Let me fix that. Um, and I'm a hot mess. We are in the middle of a hot streak here in Oregon, but today is the coolest day at like 80, it's 84 degrees out here right now. And it's overcast for a minute, so the lighting's decent. And I've been mowing and string trimming and weeding, and so I am sweaty and hot and gross, but I wanted to take advantage of the lack of construction noise near me and the nice overcast for lighting to shoot a garden tour. So let's do that. Let's start over, but in the flower bed of frustration. Okay, so look at this German chamomile. It's beautiful in all its like it's blooming. I have harvested this twice in the last week. It doesn't matter. It just happily puts out as many beautiful little flowers for me to make tea as it will. The rest of the bed is looking better as I selectively weed it. No blooms other than the chamomile yet, but there are distinct plants coming up. So I don't know what all of them are yet, but I'm happier with how it's looking. And the roses need to be fertilized. They're starting to fade. They still smell amazing though. And then around the corner, so through this arbor is out to the front of our house, and it's a fun little path. There's like a little mess right here. But my first hydrangea is in bloom. I don't know why. This one must be a different variety. I have a bunch of them, and this must be a different variety than the rest of them. They were here when I showed up, and it's the one right outside. That window is my painting studio, and it's the one right outside my painting studio, and it always blooms first. So this yellow thing over here on the side is a smoker with its lid turned upside down, and I want to turn it into a planter, and Lincoln is not super sure about it. So I think it's going to be cute. That little door opens, and I think it needs like, I don't know, like a little fairy door or something. Anyway, you guys tell me, is it too rustic? I could paint it. I don't really want to though. The likelihood of that happening isn't very high. I just snipped off all of the blooms. Several of the zinnias were blooming, but in order to get them to branch out, I just snipped all of them off. So no blooms but the amaryllis, it bloomed once, and I'm so excited. It's putting out, it's gonna put out, it's a cross of 4 blooms. Hello, Ike. You want to say hi? Hi there, buddy. Oh, he's a good boy. And the the petunias. The petunias are always the workhorses. The nasturtium is looking great. Look at this beautiful dahlia. Isn't it beautiful? And this is my like blood red. It's gorgeous dahlia. And it is it's putting out its buds. It's not quite ready to bloom yet, but we are getting close to a garden explosion. And the succulent garden, I still haven't planted anything in this bare spot. If you have any ideas, it gets like 2 hours of hot afternoon sun, and other than that, it's in the shade. So, you know, if you can think of something, let me know. And the impatiens are looking beautiful. This is still a little bit of a mess, but it's a new, I just put in a new, this stock tank is new. And this is in the shade almost all day. So this is the first time I've got to plant things like fuchsia and coleus. There's some other things in there that are happy to be in the shade most of the day. And there's going to be, that's a yarrow that is not staying there. Yarrow does not like shade. Get out of here, Ike. And the dahlia actually seems to be pretty happy there. So I'll pot it up and But yeah, not quite done yet. An update on the green stalk. I did move it. It was at the entrance to my garden. And I moved it over here, one, because it's level, and two, because I felt like it was getting too much sun. Where it was in like all day, like 15-hour sun. And it definitely seems to be happy here. The marigolds are huge. Look how big, look, in comparison. They're just like, they are giant. And they have not put out blooms yet. They just wanna get all tall and happy. There's strawberries and beans in there, and everything seems to be pretty happy. Over in the herb garden, we have taken a lot of harvests out already. Like at least I'm on at least my 3rd round of drying herbs. I did put the sage in, and it seems perfectly happy there. I moved the thyme over into the other bed. We'll walk over there and see it. The echinacea is getting ready to bloom. That's these tall things right here. And over here, oh, my feverfew is blooming just today. Let me get up close. Oh, aren't they pretty? And that just popped today. So here's this little thyme tucked in next to this bigger thyme, and it seems to be, it's this one right here. It seems to be greening up. It's happier. It seems to be happier in. This is my main thyme plant in here with the other beds. I was able to mulch this bed most of the way because the chamomile did finally bloom and show itself. So yeah, and that's what's going on in the herb garden. There's some pepper plants down here that I'll show you where the other ones are, but they didn't fit. Yeah, everything, lemon balm, the other oregano, chives, everything's looking great. That lemongrass is not looking great. I think it's too hot for it right there, but I have another one on the other side. I had to split my lemongrass, and I put it in several different pots in several different places. This is where it was originally, but I think for a new start, it was a little too hot. All right, let's move over into the main garden. These sweet onions. Look at how big those bulbs are. We've already harvested one. I put it into a coleslaw. It was delicious. My cherry tomato, it's a brown berry, and it has got tomatoes on it. We'll be eating tomatoes pretty soon. The greens bed, I cannot believe that it has not bolted. And here's my theory. All of these tall white flowers are arugula that I've let gone to seed. And you can eat the seed pods of arugula. And we have been eating them, but also I'm out of arugula seed. So I'm letting it go to seed so that I can plant more arugula in the fall. And I think that the tall arugula flowers are shading the lettuce just enough that it's not bolting in this heat. So we are just, I have tons of lettuce, so much lettuce. I am keeping track. I'm weighing everything so that I can keep track. This bed's looking a little more full. The kale over here, and oh, the cilantro. I harvested all that cilantro yesterday, trying to keep it from bolting. It was having none of it. It just overnight, which is fine. I do love coriander. I would almost rather eat coriander than cilantro. So I don't mind too much if my cilantro bolts. I have younger plants over here that will give me cilantro leaves. These are cranberry beans in these smaller plants in here, and they're doing pretty well. Their germination rate was not fabulous. I'm going to need to throw a few more things in there. And then on this other side, let me walk around there. Sunflowers are doing great. They've got their buds about ready to open up. I've got a few open in the garden. Let me walk over here. Basil's doing great. These are all fava beans, and they are putting beans on, and we should be getting, you can see, let me get in there. They have beans on them, and we could eat them right now. But we'll let them get a little bit bigger. Did you know that you can eat the flowers of fava beans? And they just taste like a delicious green bean. They're so good. I threw, Scotty, if you watch this, that's a parsley. I threw it in there just for you. I don't even like parsley that well, but you were right. I need to grow one. It's looking a little sad because of the heat, and it was a transplant, but it's fine. It'll green right up in a minute. All right, let me back up here and show you the tomato beds. The tomatoes are wild. They have been stalked and pruned. I have kept up with them, and they are looking great. They have fruit on them. They have flowers on them. And in about a month, we will have tomatoes. Miracle the artichoke is just bursting. We can't keep up. We can't eat this many artichokes. So I am letting a bunch of them go to flower. Artichokes put out the most glorious blue purple flowers ever. So I'm letting her have her way a little bit. On this side, the squash are up. We will be eating zucchini and patty pan, which is what's in here, very soon. The potatoes are looking a little scraggly, and that's fine because they are getting close to harvest. And then we'll just plant another round of potatoes in there. I'll amend that bed and another round of potatoes will go in there. These little seedlings right in here are loofah. I have never managed to get them to germinate, and I am very excited. I've got 4 plants, and I am excited to see if I can manage to get them to maturity. All right, and walking over, we have already harvested our first head of cabbage, but look at them. Aren't they beautiful? And we've got radish seedlings in here, and over here broccoli. Broccoli's really slow growing, so we seed it now. And they're just tiny. I don't even know if you can see them. They are up, but you see right in there, that's a broccoli seedling. And so that means we'll have fall broccoli. Over here, the Malabar spinach is, I feel like, on the verge of just getting ready to like be lush and beautiful. That's these plants right in here. And I think I'm gonna seed some in between here. I thought they were gonna be like more full. There is definitely more room for some more Malabar spinach in there. So I have some more seeds. I think I'm gonna throw some in. Here's a couple of cucumbers. My cucumbers this year are just like scattered throughout, and these little seedlings in right here. I don't know if you can see that on the camera. Right in there, those are cucamelons, and they're tiny little melons that taste like cucumbers. And I have never grown them, and I'm excited for them. We've got a few radishes coming up right here. I have some New Zealand spinach planted there. It has not germinated, so I don't know. They were brand new seeds. We'll see what's going on there. I have some spinach germinated under here, and it is hot, and it may not germinate because it's too hot, but we'll see. Let me walk around this trellis. I have yard-long cucumbers doing pretty good right here, and these little seedlings right here are yard-long beans. I cannot wait to show them to you. They're so much fun. They are purple beans that are at least a foot long. I lost all my cucumbers right here. I do have some other cucumbers. I have this one, made it. So I need to reseed those. And over here, the fennels finally started to take off. That's these like wispy plants right here. It's bulb fennel. So we grow it for the bulb. And the eggplants that require extreme patience are finally starting to grow. Eggplants just take a long time to grow. And we've got a row of bush beans in here. And the borage and the bachelor buttons are looking just so beautiful, and there are bees everywhere on them. Borage is edible. You can eat the flowers. Actually, you can eat all of it, but the flowers are beautiful and delicious, and they taste like cucumber. Yum. Dried beans are doing great. If you saw John Henry plant his pumpkins in, I think, 2 or 3 videos ago, I mean, like, there's so many, but He planted his pumpkins. They've germinated and they're up, so they're happy in there. Now if he can just remember to water them. All right, and this is there's a pathway. Let me show you where I am. My truck's in here right now because my truck full of compost, that compost is all going to get dumped on this bed, which will then grow winter squash, acorn, and spaghetti squash. This is, so where I'm standing, my garden is right there. There's this grassy pathway is big enough to fit my truck in here by design, so that we can do things like this. Like I can get in here to get a truckload of compost or a truckload of wood chips. And let's see if I can get to the side of these beds. These beds had onions and garlic in them, and I have harvested them, and I did take a video of that, and I have one more step that I'm waiting to film. But the red onions, which are not doing fabulous, but you know, I have a hard time with red onions. I don't know why. I can grow white ones, but the red ones are tricky. That bed needs something in it, but I don't know what yet. I may put some acorn squash in there. And then these beds are, the whole reason these beds were ever made. These are all of this bed and all of this bed are all sweet peppers. This bed is all Italian sweets, and so are the first few of this, and these ones are orange sweeties. So my hot peppers are in my main bed, but I eat so many, well, our family eats so many sweet peppers that there are, I think, 32 peppers in here. Peppers like to be grown pretty close together. They take forever to grow. I started these from seed in February, and hopefully we will get a large harvest of peppers this year. And I think that's all. I did remember one last thing I wanted to show you, and that is this brand new flower bed. And you can see the seedlings are getting bigger and happier. And I know I did not get them all split, but it is, they will get eventually moved. But yeah, everything's looking, I think I'm about ready to put in some mulch along the back. I've got a few other things. This grassy looking stuff is liatris, and I planted zinnias on top of it because I didn't think it was going to come up, and then it did come up. So I need to move some zinnias. But yeah, that's the one, like the last thing I'll show you. And so that's the garden tour for the, like, what is the late July garden tour. I was gonna, or the late June garden tour. I was gonna wait until July, but so much has changed since the 3rd when I filmed the last one. The garden just this time of year, it just grows like crazy. It's so much fun. And so I wanted to do one like in the 2 weeks, like at the I don't know, it's like 2-week mark, 2.5-week mark. Anyway, I will talk to you next time. Bye.